Hi everybody, it's Joanna Intarazim from joannatransformation.com. That's Joanna transformation.com. And we are on day 332 out of 366 days to transform fear back into love. We're on day 332, very exciting day here. And our topic today is how facing my fears of non existence jolted me into living. How facing my fears of non existence jolted me into living. So you're probably wondering, what is she talking about? And what I'm talking about is facing my fears of death and uh, how that actually was an awakening process for me. I was a person, just to share a little story with you, who experienced several ultra dark nights of the soul, probably before the age of 15. In one of them, I almost drowned in the ocean by a riptide, and I had a very intimate, deep opportunity to face what I felt for sure at that time. I was 12 years old, would be instant death or certain death, and there was a way that I was fortunate enough to be graced into still living, but I came very close to the razor's edge of not being in this body anymore and my spirit needing to leave. I was pulled under by a riptide 3 times. Oh, 3 times. And I didn't know if I was going to make it to the shore. So, in the period after that happened, I became very, through the experience of facing almost dying in that third riptide when I got pulled under, it was like the transmission of coming so close to death gave me a window into living. It literally jolted me into living in a way that I hadn't before. And somehow, whatever I had been through, which had been very traumatic, and all that I was to continue to go through in my adolescent years and in my early 20s, somehow the fear of not existing or the fear of dying really was mitigated. It was like I had been through that, and I actually chose to continue to borrow the idea that I could have died, or the fantasy of death even, as a way to bring that right into my current experience in the present. And what would happen is it would show me where I actually wasn't really living. It's almost like I would imagine, did several meditations from the Buddhist tradition on the dissolution of the human body, which helped me get very intimate with the process of dying and then leaving the body and then dissolving all the pieces of my physical body and then, returning as energy. And so there was a way I would continue to imagine at a time that I was alive, that I am alive, dying and not being here anymore. And it would make me really get in touch with how I was living in the present moment. So if I wasn't really happy with something, or if I realized during the meditation that, for example, I would imagine it was my last day alive or my last hour, and these were my final moments, I still continue to do this. It's just part of how I'm wired. And I can get in touch in that process with any place where there's not living happening. I suspect that when we get close to our dying time, some people say that the essence of our life is revealed to us in a short 1.5 second clip, or even like a second clip, like the essence of the life that we have lived. And so I would imagine that, and I would write about what would that be given my life so far. And so there are all these ways that you can actually get more information from your fantasy and choosing to imagine a certain experience about how you're living now. And I'm imagining, if you're watching this, that some party is curious about death, or maybe fears of non-existence, and then also deeply as interested, perhaps even more so, in how you can really fully live. And so the best way that I have found to fully live, at least as far as this post is concerned, is to really let myself be okay with my spirit leaving this body, and being willing to imagine what that's like and practice it so that I can feel exercised in it, if you will. We exercise all kinds of other things in our life, our bodies and attitudes, and practice with our heart. It could be also very important, and maybe might be considered to be very important by some traditions, of how we exercise our departure process as well. So perhaps, um, you know, as we get more and more comfortable with that, because for some of you, I can imagine imagining what your death might be like, or if you were to die today or even right now, how would your life be any different? That might be a process that takes some courage and fearlessness to actually step into. So if you're willing to engage with that, thank you. That's a beautiful conscious act that you can give yourself. And I have no doubts the rewards will be rich and revealing to you about where you may not really be fully living. I am grateful that I was jolted not only by the Riptide experience, but by other experiences that I was in my earlier years, the dark nights of the soul, into fully living, full aliveness, full non denial of who I am, and really deep openness to discovering all that. And I really want that for you in any place where you feel like it doesn't exist, or where you would like it to exist more fully, or you would like to be living more fully, or you just like to feel more alive and more vivid, and just like all the lights fully turned on in your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit, all of it. I want that for you, because I know the fulfillment and the flow and the ease and the grace and the energy that that brings. And I really truly want everybody on this planet to have it, because if we're all in that place, there's amazing co-creativity and development of our true potential as humanity. So offering that to you today with a lot of love in my heart, and wishes for great inner soul adventures in the practice. And yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching, and for your comments. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care.